You're the first class I'm not going to lecture then. I'm so proud of you. Are you going to answer this question too? Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. You can put your hand, I'll make it a mini rant. Put your hand up, but I'll let you go first, right? Okay, today is the last day I want your stuff, whatever it is. I love you dearly, but I'm about to cry over the pallets on my desk already. So if you got stuff to add to it, make it fast. Meaning when I get done talking, come bring it to me. There were some who haven't had a chance to get to the 100 on the 3-1 tag. They're just not quite there yet. When I get done rambling, you can be that person and get to that 100 if you would like to. But if you think I'm going to stop doing math today, you're wrong. So you're going to be further behind. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Some people have already shown me their new homework. And so if you showed me anything yesterday, I'm so sorry. I meant to stay up last night and type it in, but I fell asleep at 7:30. So it will be typed in as soon as possible. Let's see. If you have done the new homework, meaning you did the page 5, the word problems, and the page 14, number 3, which we discussed was supposed to be no solution. You were supposed to get like 0 equals 50, which is no solution. But you have to actually do elimination the 3 times before you realize that. So there does need to be words besides just no solution. There does need to be math on the math paper. Anyway, if you've done those 2 homework assignments, good for you. The sooner you show them to me, the better. They're going to be the first thing in for the second 9 weeks. But let's face it, that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. So that's not that many points in life. Today's is going to be the bigger one. It's a 10-problem worksheet. And it is going to be worth 30 points. 3 points per problem because let's face it, X, Y, and Z per problem. That's the good news. The even better news, there's two great things about this. One is that I'm going to say it's not due until, here's the part where I'm going to lose you, and this is where you're going to try not to do math today, but you ought to go ahead and get it over with. I'm going to say it's not due till, Thursday. And the reason Thursday is because we're out of school Monday. Lord knows you won't recall that on Tuesday. The PSATs are messing up Wednesday, so we'll make it not due until Thursday. But let's be honest, that's a long way off. Abby Grace wants to get as much of it done now as possible, because the longer she waits, the worse it's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to go over that in just a second. Let's go ahead and do these math workshops and get them out of the way. Drea, you had the first one. Bless your hearts, we're for real factoring today. There is no what to pull out of that first thing. And she had it out, and so did you. So 2 and 4 can have a point. There is no GCF. Ooh, gentle reminder. Gentle reminder. I know you think that you cannot do math today and just work on makeup stuff. And I get you do you, boo. Like, I get that, whatever. But you realize the point slips have been added up all week. So if your group's been off all week, you need it to be an on day. Because I'm still putting in that 30% grade for this report card. So you're like, oh, it's okay. I'm at a 92. Okay, has your group gotten all the points they want to get this week? Because you're one of those borderline 88, 92 kind of grades. It can push you up to the 90 if you're the 88. Or it could bring you down to the 90 if you're in the 92. So again, has your group been getting the points they need for the week? Okay, just a general reminder. Drea, go ahead and handle it. And that's perfect, and we're going to give your group 2 points because I didn't even tell you how. Okay, now I mean this in the nicest way, but this is your 3rd year of factoring. So if you've not gotten factoring down by now, oh my goodness, I hope you get it together as soon as possible. What you're supposed to do, yes dear. It's a time. Okay, so what you're supposed to do, if there are 3 terms, which there are, 1, 2, 3.
Teachers, could I have juniors K through O? Juniors K through O to the lobby, main lobby.
If that's you, bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so if that's you, go. Okay, so if there's a 1 in front, we have to factor like normal. So I'm looking for 2 things that add to give me -4 and multiply to give me -32. And she said -8 plus 4 gives you -4. -8 times 4 gives you -32. So my 2 factors are, since I picked -8, m minus 8. Since I picked positive 4, it's m plus 4. Again, I was a geometry teacher last year. So I know not only did you do this in Algebra 1, but we did this for weeks with bell ringers and geometry, so you're supposed to recall how this works. Okay, on our next problem, we're wanting two factors again, two things that add to give me the middle term, which is -5, two things to multiply to give you the end, which is -66. If you can do this in your head, great. I'm just writing it for those who can't. Factors. Okay, we got me some factors. 11 and what? It is going to be 11 and 6, but it's -11 and 6, and we'll give Caitlin the point. Sorry, Travis, because we need -11, because -11 plus 6 is -5. -11 times 6 is -66. So it's Z minus 11 and C plus 6. And again, the signs matter, because we need it to be a -11 so we can add to a -5. Yes, dear.
My old algebra teacher had a way of doing the same thing. Instead of writing it out like that, she put it in a little diamond.
Uh-huh. Oh, we'll get to the diamond. I only bothered to do the diamond when it's a GCF greater than 1. But genuinely, at this point, if you can do like the next one, I can do it in my head. Because I'm like, I know what multiplies to 40. I'm like, okay, so is it 1 and 40? No, they don't add to 13. Is it 2 and 20? No, they don't add to 13. Is it 5 and 8? Yeah, they add to 13. So 5 and 8. So I just do it in my head if I'm being honest. But when I write it out, I think it through, like, what adds to 13, what multiplies to 40, 40, and it's 5 and 8.
I can't do math in my head at all.
I'm sure you can. Okay, so it's y plus 5 and y plus 8. And I did that one, sorry. Okay, number 4 is different. What's different about it?
It only has two.
2 terms, and you get a point for that. There's something else different about it. It has GCF. Brady or Greg gets a point. It has GCF. What is that GCF?
Well, XY.
And Jessica and Brady can get a point. It's 12xy, not just 6. We can actually pull out a 12. We're left with 3x minus 4y. If you only pull out a 6, you've not technically pulled out the greatest, and that is so crooked. I'm so sorry. That is so crooked.
It's okay, we love them.
I appreciate that. Okay, are there any questions about these math workshops? Clearly we didn't finish these. We're going to keep working on these next week. If you were trying to get ahead in life, you anticipate 5, 6, 7 is what's coming next. So you can go ahead and do those and get your group points for the second 9 weeks. Okay, so today, Mr. Moore's making fun of me, but I was trying to be nice. So we're doing a coloring page. Again, it's not due today, but the more problems you can get done today, the better. Okay, so let's look at the coloring page. Let me get me one that's not written on. Okay, so at first I was just going to post my color answer on the screen. That's not very helpful. So when I get done rambling, I'm literally going to post the answers on the screen. So if Derica doesn't have work, how am I going to give Derica points? Do you think you can fit your work on this paper? No. So basically, if Derica doesn't have a sheet of paper attached with math on it, it's hard for me to give her any points for this homework assignment. And again, I'm going to do it as 30 points in the 10% category. So it's going to be the biggest grade so far for that second 9 weeks. So if you're trying to start off with the A, my gosh, don't forget about this. Okay, so how it's going to work is, with 3 variables, we're supposed to get 3 answers with our solution. So you're actually supposed to get on that one, let me get my key. Where are you, key? You're supposed to get on number 1. When you solve it, you'll end up getting -2, -3, 3. And again, I'm going to post the key in just a second. I just want to talk about how this coloring page works. Okay, but you can't color all of that on the back. So it specifically says they want the X answer. Well, the X answer was -2. So everywhere on the back, on the mandala, that's what that weird looking shaped thing's called, a mandala. Everywhere on the mandala that you see a -2, you should color it yellow. Now, will I give Lyric some points for coloring? Of course. She took her time and colored something. Of course I'm going to give her a couple pity points because she colored. Eric loves that about me. I give points for coloring. I know it's silly, but I do. Do you have to color? Absolutely not. What I'm really looking for is for Lyric to do math in math class. So if she has the math attached, I'm giving her the points for that. But can she get a couple extra points for coloring? She can. So that's how you're supposed to color. There's your whole answer, but the X is -2, so I color on the back. Everywhere I see a -2, I color yellow. Are there any questions about the coloring aspect of this? Okay, well then, as a reminder, what we learned about yesterday is that, sadly, with 3 variables, how many times do we do an elimination? How many times? We do it 3 times. Thank you, table 6, you get a point. So we might do elimination. We numbered our equations 1, 2, and 3. We might do elimination with, let's say, 1 and 2, and then we might do elimination with, let's say, 2 and 3. And sadly, we're doing all this work, and all we're killing off is 1 variable. So we've done all this work. We've made a new equation 4, a new equation 5. And what's great about those new equations is they only have 2 variables. But sadly, now we have to do elimination again with those 2 variables. So you've done elimination 3 times. I'm holding up 2. You've done elimination 3 times. And all you've done is finally get an answer like X equals -2. Darn. All that work, you get 1 number. Then you've got to plug it back in an equation to get Y. You got to plug it back in another equation to get Z. And it takes a lot of time, hence why I'm telling you it's not due until next Thursday, because there's 10 problems. If they each take, it shouldn't take 4 minutes, but let's say they each take 4 minutes, that's 40 minutes of your life. So that's why we're going to go ahead, and that's why you have all day today, and sometime during class and the next week as well. Yes, dear?
Do you want us to use elimination, or can we use something that's good if we think that we need to?
And you can get a point for that. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Thank you for being psychic. There are some harder problems on this. Your group can each get a point. I'll give you 1 point per hard problem mentioned. And don't say all of them because that's not true. Which problems are especially hard on 1 through 10? 5, Eric said. No, not 5. I heard Lyric say 6. 6 is correct. You get a point for that. What did you say, DJ? 4, you said Jessica? Yeah, you get a point for that.
I said it earlier.
But yes, you get a point for that. Sorry. I don't know who said it, but I'm giving you the point for it. What other one is supposed to be especially hard? 10, he says 10 is correct. DJ, Andrea, what'd you say? You said 9. 9 is also one of the hard ones. And you can have a point for that. Is 3 one of them? Yes, it is. Caitlin, you can have a point for that.
It's all of them.
It's not all of them. It's not all of them. We're looking for something specific.
It's half of them.
It's most of them, but it's not all of them. There's 1 more.
7.
It's 7, DJ. Thank you. You can have a point for that. Okay. Why did we circle the ones we circled? What's different about them?
Because
The first answer is they're not always in standard form. And the second answer is they might be missing a variable. So 2 and 5 get a point. So we circled and I quote hard ones. Because 1, they're not in standard form, and 2, they might be missing a variable. So let's look specifically at number 3. We're going to talk about how you can be a smarty pants like Xavier and solve it differently. Or how, if you're like me and Andrew, and I'm a creature of habit, so I'm going to set it up the way we've been doing it, do elimination 3 times. It might take me longer, but I like having a set pattern. Bless you, Caitlin. I like having a set pattern. Okay, so... And Jessica said it. What I'm going to do is put it in standard form in just a second. All for that? Really? Okay. Do you see how Z is already by itself on number 3? So Xavier literally could plug in this value in for Z, and then that third equation would only have X's and Y's. Again, he could plug in this value in for Z into that top equation as well, and then that top equation would only have X's and Y's. And he skipped the first 2 eliminations. He has his new equation 4, his new equation 5. He can keep going from there. He has to do an elimination once. Now that's genius. And if you like substitution, and some of these are perfectly set up for substitution, the ones we circled, then if you like substitution, you can use substitution and skip some of these eliminations. Now if that sounded like woe to you, especially since we haven't practiced that, then don't do that. Instead, like Jessica said, they need to be in standard form. So why don't we rearrange it and put it in standard form so we can use our normal strategy? So for instance, on number 3, Yes, dear.
I was just gonna say that even though there are two things we know the variable is equal to, don't try to plug it in because we're just creating an infinite, process of replacing a variable with what you know, and then that'll have the other variable you keep.
So you could, like he's saying, let's say I know Z is this, I plug it in here. Well, X is this, so I plug it in here. Then you've created a conundrum. You got to pick one or the other. So either I'm replacing all Z's or I'm replacing all X's. If you try to do both at the same time, you end up confusing yourself and in this like endless cycle. He's right.
If you are trying to replace more than one at the same time, which you have to use a different equation, like you could use
You could go to equation 1 and plug in this for X. Again, in equation 1, you could plug in this for Z. But at the same time, you still created a nightmare because now I've got Y's and Z's and a Y and an X. So like he's saying, you created a nightmare. So if you're going to substitute, I pick the one guy I'm substituting into both, and I roll. Pick the one guy, only substitute him in. And you can see why, via our conversation, that substitution is going to be a bit of a pain. It might be a shortcut, but it could potentially be a giant pain in your life. So if you're trying to avoid it and you like elimination.
Wisconsin,
Yes, ma'am.
would you ask Landon Sample to stop by the main office to pick something up at your convenience?
Yes,
after
ma'am.
class?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the first equation is already in standard form, so I'm just going to write it again. Negative x minus y minus 3z equals negative 9. But that second equation isn't in standard form, so I'm going to move the x over. And if I move the x over, I would have a 3x, because I add 3x to both sides. I still have a z. I still have it equal to negative 1. What do I put for y? Xavier, get another point. So my second equation is 3x plus 0y plus z equals negative 1. And then again, that third equation, I need to put it in standard form. So I have to move the y's over and the z's over. So I have x minus 5y plus z equals 23. If Abby Grace loves elimination, which she does because we talked about it, if Abby Grace loves elimination, then my thought is on all the circled problems, put them in standard form, and then you can do elimination the 3 times and make life like normal. But again, it's up to you. I'm just telling you all the options in life. Okay, are there any questions about this? This class asked more questions about substitution than any other class did. Interesting. Very curious. Very excited. Okay, well, I'm going to give you time to work on this, but again, if you're wanting to be one of those test correctors, you can still get that done as well. Okay,